Allow me to posit this question at the outset of the video. Has Marvel turned a corner? Are they back, or have they finally done the appropriate course correction, seen the error of their ways, and now they are back on the right track? Or is this a wolf in sheep's clothing? They are simply trying to get you lathered up with the flashy veneer of doing the right thing for their customers, giving the people what they want, only to stick it in at a moment that you least expect it, come right back roaring with woke identity politics and DEI, race-swapped characters. I'm of two minds about this, because as it sits right now, like, you got Marvel Rivals dominating video games, and it's hilarious. Even during the dominance of the MCU, during its height in phases 1 through 3, during the Disney tenure, there weren't any Marvel-related video game hits. Like, it's kind of funny, right? Because Marvel, well, they stumbled with that Avengers game. Like, they tried something. They really tried something. They really failed with something over there. I guess you could kind of point to Spider-Man game, but that just kind of came and went. Yeah, it was a big success over for Sony and for Insomniac. We've seen what happened with the follow-up, but for as bad as the movies have been over at DC, I mean, at least they were doing video games right until Suicide Squad came along. But now what could potentially be the turning of the tide? You have Marvel Rivals dominating. And why is that? Well, it's just simply giving the people what they want. People like the characters, man. That's all. If you give them the characters that look like the characters, or maybe even stylized, hyper augmented versions. If you've seen Invisible Woman, you know what I mean. And you just let them be superheroes, okay? In the most primal form, people are going to gravitate towards that. So Overwatch overthrown. Marvel Rivals upstages competition in player count and views as gamers reject DEI titles. And yeah, normally we would be talking about DEI and it's shit that Marvel is doing. But Marvel Rivals has dethroned Overwatch in popularity as appealing character designs and a lack of forced identity politics attract more and more players. The world of PvP gaming has seen players leaving Overwatch from Marvel Rival in droves. For years, Overwatch has been the go-to game for many PvP players, yeah, especially in the hero shooter genre, which has always had challengers, just none have stuck. Okay, like when it comes to Battle Royale, okay, you've seen how hard Black Ops 6 has fallen off. I think on Steam it just ended up shifting to overwhelmingly negative. It went from mixed to overwhelmingly negative, but Fortnite is still the king over there. It's just when in the realm of hero shooters, Overwatch 2, it was always very beatable. It's just everybody would end up tripping over their own dicks, and in the case of Concord, their she-dicks, and never positing a correct challenge until Marvel Rivals comes along. The developer for Marvel Rivals has kept players engaged with intriguing gameplay and attractive characters. For instance, the evil version of the Invisible Woman, Malice, has been making the rounds, and yeah, she's been on a couple of different thumbnails of mine. You got exactly what you want in all the right places, and well, now you're seeing, and we got the player count, live player count here right now, and I'm recording this Thursday evening, so not exactly the most poppin' time, and shit just went up, okay? 450,000 concurrent players at the outset of Season 1. Not even all the content is out, and just recently, I think wasn't it over the past weekend, they ended up hitting, at the launch of the new season, okay, Saturday night, they hit a brand new total of 644,000 concurrent players, and that doesn't even factor in the people that are playing on other platforms. This is just simply Steam, and yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people pick this up and a lot of people having a good time with it. I still haven't played it. Not really my cup of tea. Far too sweaty for me. Hero shooters never really clicked. I like arena type shooters, your Dooms, your Halos, Call of Duty deathmatch stuff, and don't really like any of that big team stuff. It's just all kind of flumpy for me. But Rivals is here to stay. It appears, right? Like they show absolutely zero sign of slowing down even since launch, and the fact that they are getting more attention with the release of new content, and they seem so far to be doing right by their audience, and then also have long-term plans because Marvel Rivals reveals how many heroes it will release as the season continues. They're taking a look at their competition. They're taking a look at Overwatch 2, figuring out what they did wrong, but realizing that there is a hunger out there from the audience for these types of games, and then just simply doing it better. Okay, thanks Marvel Rivals, rather, has been pretty explicit about the idea that Season 1 of the game is a double-sized season. They should not expect quite this much content in the future. That said, even half of what the game is putting out is still a double or more of what similar games in the hero genre are doing. Well, Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman arrived in Season 1. We know that Human Torch and the Thing will be arriving a month and a half later in February. Now, NetEase has confirmed the plan here is to release 2 heroes a season, one every month and a half going forward, which is a tremendous amount of content in comparison to other competitors. So yeah, Marvel Rivals knows what's going on, okay? Bringing in X-Men as well. Like, you take a look, okay? Cyclops, Professor X, Colossus, Jianjing, I don't know, Locus, okay? Like, now we're starting to get into the more niche characters, but yeah, you're putting in Deadpool, Captain Marvel, depends on what you do out there. Are you doing Marvel, or are you doing Carol Danvers? Are you doing Sideshave Captain Marvel, Brie Larson Captain Marvel, or what? What do we got here? But then you got Emma Frost. Phoenix, okay, Phoenix and Jean Grey, Valkyrie, MODOK. Oh, that's going to be hilarious. Okay, I want to see the Marvel Rivals take on MODOK. That's going to be great. Ultron and Blade effectively guaranteed for Season 2. They're doing the same thing that they did with their launch, because honestly, outside of the most niche and dedicated Marvel fans, who the fuck knew who Jeff the Landshark was? Yeah, exactly, but he became an overnight sensation because people got hip to the idea of playing as, Captain America, Spider-Man, the Punisher in a hero shooter. They gave the people what they want, and so far, Marvel hasn't interfered, and they're just simply fine with riding the success in another platform to drive people back to their core product. Case in point, Daredevil's Born Again trailer just dropped here in the past couple of days, and well, it's been exceptionally well received. I took a look at it, and it's like, yep, I've seen this rug pull happen before, guys. Okay, it looks great, it looks gritty, it looks realistic, but you know what? I seem to remember there was a Marvel's trailer that came out that looked like it was going to be pretty serious and it was going to be pretty down to earth. I seem to recall, Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania also had a couple of trailers that had this as, a lot more of an emotional, a lot more of a character-driven piece. Both of those films were absolute fucking slop. So if you're telling me that Daredevil in one trailer shows a potential return to the gritty and violent Marvel TV with no girl boss in sight, I'm sure a pun was somewhat intended, but you're telling me, okay, because this is what, though, the third, fourth time we've had Daredevil characters, okay? Legacy and Netflix Marvel Daredevil characters come into an MCU project, because we've had the Kingpin 3 different times, or this will be his 3rd time, okay? And we've also had Daredevil before, but he's going to be treated a lot more gritty, and it's going to be a lot more dark, more realistic, because you've seen bones break, there was blood, and there was a very serious tone to all of it. Okay, cool. So how are you going to go ahead and rehab Kingpin from getting girl bossed by Echo's Indian ancestors, okay? Preceding him to go back to New York to run for mayor, because that's apparently the setup. You're telling me that we're not going to be seeing Echo? I know that she's definitely not going to hear the casting call, but she's not going to be in this season? What about how Kate Bishop worked over Carlton Fisk beforehand? In Hawkeye. Anybody remember that? No, exactly. Or when it comes to Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock, is he going to be the same pussy hound he was in the comics? Is he also going to be paying homage to his Catholic faith, his Jesuit roots? Is he going to be doing that? But then also, how is he going to square away his relationship with Jennifer Walters? Oh, are they going to address his relationship with She-Hulk? Oh, it's almost like there's a lot of these plot threads, unless, of course, this is a total reboot. This is Marvel just cutting all of those strings of the past. They are unburdened by what has been in order to focus what has yet to come. Perhaps they're doing that. Or they're just trying to capitalize on a lot of people's renewed sense of enthusiasm for Marvel. To me, this seems like a lot of keys being jangled in front of people's faces. Oh, you remember Netflix Daredevil? You remember this stuff that the MCU didn't create at all? Huh? Seems like we were doing this exact same stuff a year ago. Ooh, you remember this? You remember? Okay, come and tune in March 4th so that you can get like a couple of good minutes, and I'm sure you're probably going to get some great performances. Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock as Daredevil is great, okay? Vincent D'Onofrio and just about everything that guy does, okay? And I've seen some of of as Kingpin before. The dude is great. He is made for that role. I'm sure you're going to get some great performances. I would just say temper your expectations. You might have a dark mood, a dark atmosphere. Things might look good, but the script is written in fucking crayon. Have you seen who's working on this project? Lead writer Heather Belson. Okay, what has she written before? Whole bunch of Neil Gaiman stuff. Wonder if she's going to be getting a callback for that. The Sandman Show, Raised by Wolves, American God, The Exorcist, and she was a producer for The Walking Dead. Fantastic stuff. Unforgettable? Well, apparently it was. But, okay. A story editor on Black Sails. I've heard decent things about that. What about Jill Blankenship? Another writer on the project. There you can see Daredevil, Born Again, a couple of episodes. She worked on Naomi and Arrow. Oh, shit. The list goes on and on. We can continue to run down names, but these aren't the same people. Drew Goddard is nowhere close to this show. The guy who is mostly responsible for that airtight script back in the Netflix days. Now, I know a lot of people are pointing to John Bernthal returning as Punisher, saying, he said before, if Disney and Marvel wasn't going to do his character right, there are three things in life that he puts above all else: God, his family, and the Punisher. He would never come back and besmirch that character. I'm just saying, Disney has Disney money when it's all said and done. And he might think something is excellent, but ultimately it is a disgrace. And that's another character that I've seen. I don't know. Did you guys also get that short? It was always in my feed, and maybe it's because of the type of content that I cover. It's a lot of, busting creeps in the industry. But there was that one where, let's just say, the Punisher, with one of his sidekicks, goes in and, long story short, ends up burning down, let's just say, a photo set. Okay? It's very compelling stuff. And I hear a lot of people hype up that first season of Punisher, pretty good. And the second one, not so much. But the first is quite good, and the stuff that Punisher and Daredevil did in season 2 of Daredevil is highly regarded. So yes, it's nice to have something to look forward to, and I really do. I legitimately hope it's good, especially for all of those fans who have been left in the lurch and seeing what Marvel has done with Daredevil, has seen the turn that Marvel has made in recent years, just destroying what made them great to begin with. And I would also say, look at what they've done recently and also assess their track record and realize at any point in time they're eventually going to reveal who they are, and they've spent the better part of a decade telling you exactly who they are, and at this point in time, I beg you, just listen. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.